Just have a shuffle around, make sure your sit bones are nice and seated and comfortable on the floor, hands onto your legs. Imagine there's a big long string all the way up your neck, from the base of your spine all the way through your neck, out through the top of your head. And then we're just going to rock our head really slowly side to side. So imagine you've got that piece of string and you're using that to bring your head side to side. So you're keeping your neck long. Good. Keep the whole of your body still, so it's just your head coming side to side. And if you want to, you can bring that head forwards, chin to chest, but you're trying to keep the crown of your head really tall. Good, nice long neck. Good. And then with your shoulders, roll your shoulders all the way back. When you get to the back, just stay there. So you're tucking those shoulder blades down behind you. Bring your left hand down to the floor and your right arm up all the way over until you feel the stretch. So you might just be able to go to here, or you might bring your elbow down to the floor if you're a little bit stretchier today. Good. Try and keep your sit bones on the floor still. So you've come over to one side, but try and keep both of them deep on the floor. If you feel like it's lifting up, then don't stretch quite so far over. Lovely. And then back to the middle. Both hands on the floor. Sit up nice and tall. And then over to the other side. Big stretch. Make sure those sit bones are still firmly rooted on the floor. If they're not, come up a tiny bit more. Big stretch. And then back up to the middle again. Both hands on the floor. Just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Sit bones down. Draw up the crown of your head all the way up to the ceiling so it's as tall as you can. Keep that height in your spine, and we'll bend over to the other side again. Try and keep your neck nice and long. Good. And back to the middle and straight over to the other side. Lovely. And then come back up towards the middle. Both arms up into the end. We're just going to reach one side up and then the other. So we're really stretching up towards the ceiling. Imagine you're grabbing something that's just out of reach and pulling it down. Good. You should really feel stretch up one side. Keep those sit bones down on the floor. You can look up towards your hands if you want to. Good, and then bring those hands back down again. And we're going to lift our right leg up and pop that foot over the top of our left leg. Super, and then our left arm comes around and you're hooking your left elbow in by your right knee. And then you're twisting around, looking over your over your right shoulder. I've just realised it's not very helpful that I'm dressed all in black, so I'm sorry for that.
You're a big splodge.
No, it's not very helpful.
White flashes of your ankles, Gemma.
Good, and then unhook your arm, come back to the middle. Bring that leg back and stretch it out slightly to the side of you. Good, and you might already feel the stretch along the inside of your leg just sitting here. Hands to the floor in front of you, and then turn them over. And we're just going to fold forwards down towards the floor. So by having your hands facing upwards, it stops you from trying to pull yourself down into this stretch. So we're just going to fold under, chin to chest, and just lean forwards. Good. So as you breathe out, just let your body relax forwards a little bit more. And a big breath in. Sit up nice and tall and bring your right hand over the top of your right knee. Left hand up next to your knee as well. Good. And we're twisting our shoulders this time to face our ankles. Sit bones on the floor still, and then fold forwards again. Chin down over the top of that leg. Good. So your shoulders are facing your toes. Lovely. And a nice big breath all the way to lift you back up to the top. Tuck that right leg back in to cross-legged again. And then we're going to bring our left leg out this time. Left foot over the top of your right knee. Good. If you've just done strength, you probably feel a stretch in your glutes here. Then bring your right arm across. Hook it over the top of your left knee. And then look over your left shoulder. So a nice big twist. Lovely. Again, try and keep your spine nice and tall. That's it. Left foot over your right knee. And then your right elbow. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Yeah. And then look over your shoulder. Good. Big twist. Super. And then unravel yourself. Unhook that hand. Bring both hands down in front of you. Straighten out that left leg to your side. Hands down in front. I'm just going to fold forward. So it doesn't matter. We're not trying to crunch down to the floor. We're just leaning forwards as far as our body will let us. So nice and relaxed. Good. And then breathe in to come to the top. Lift your left hand over the top of your left knee. Shuffle your right hand a little bit closer again. And then fold forwards, chin down over the top of this knee. Your shoulders again should be facing that foot this time. Good. And then come all the way up to seated position again. Bring that knee in. So if you're sat how I am, facing the long edge of your mat, just twist around so you're facing along. And we're going to lean over our knees onto our hands and knees. Unhook your feet. So in that nice tabletop position. Good. And we're just going to go into our cat-cow. So tuck your chin under. Push the floor away through the palms of your hands, rounding off your shoulders. Good. Chin to chest. And then try and squeeze the gap in between your hips and your elbows. Really nice. And then down through the other way. So tilt your tailbone up to the ceiling. Bring your shoulder blades down. So if you're trying to put them into your back pockets, lifting your chin up. Good, stretching through your back. Nice big arch. And then back through, pushing the floor away again. To lift your shoulders into that Halloween cat position. Tuck your chin in. Lovely. Do a couple more of these in your own time. So as you feel comfortable, come back down into that cow. Make sure those shoulder blades are tucking back into your pockets. Lovely. Big tilt of your hips when you change in each direction. Good. Next time you come into your cow position, just take a look over your right shoulder. Twist a little bit shoulder to knee. And then back to the middle and look over the other side. So just loosening up that back. Vanessa, just be careful on the twisty bits with yours.
Yeah.
And you know where you can go with it. Good. And then push back up into that Halloween cat position. And this time we're looking under each arm as you do your twists. And then if you want to do a combination of both, so just have a twist and a roll round going from your cat into your cow, however you feel good. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just have a good wriggle round, see what feels good. So you're twisting and you're rolling from your cat into your cow. Good, loosening up all of those back muscles, loosening up your back, your sides. Good, and bring those big toes together. Widen out your knees if you want to and sit back towards your hips. If you can't get back onto your hips, you can always grab a cushion and put that between your bum and your ankles. And then just push your hands forwards. Resting your forehead down on the floor. Again, if you are more comfortable, you can leave your hips in the air on this one, that's okay. And you're just pushing your arms down towards the floor, stretching through your shoulders. And take a couple of deep breaths, and you're just sinking into the floor. Let your whole body feel really heavy down into the floor. Big stretch through your shoulders. And press through your hands, lift your hips up. Shoulders coming up over the top of your wrist, and we're going to drop our hips down towards the floor nice and slowly. If that feels like too much, then pop your elbows down on the floor and just lean forwards as far as you can, and then lift up your shoulders. So go by what feels good for you. When you're in that position, whichever way, with your arms bent or with your arms straight, a couple of deep breaths, and we're trying to relax into this. It's one of those positions where if you fight it, it'll feel really, really uncomfortable. If you breathe out and relax your muscles and let your body sink down to the floor, it'll feel a little bit better. Good. Press the floor away. Come back up onto your hands and knees and sit backwards again onto your ankles. Good. Nice and slowly. Sink back down into the floor again. And then one more time, pressing down through the floor, come up over the top onto your hands and knees. Bring those hips back down to the floor. Again, if you want to, you can go down onto your ankles from here, onto your elbows, come down to the floor and then push up to where you're comfy. Good. If you want a little bit of an extra side stretching along your back, you can look over one shoulder here and then the other, but only do it if you feel happy and comfortable to do so. You don't have to do this bit. Lovely, and then push back through your hands, come back up. Last time to sit back down towards your heels. Lovely, and this time we're going to walk our hands around to one side. Nice big side stretch. So go as far as you're comfortable. And then press down into the floor again. Good. And you should be feeling the stretch all the way along the side of your body. And then walk those hands nice and slowly back into the middle and across to the other side. Sink back down into the floor. Really nice. Back to the middle. Good. Press up onto our hands and knees. Curl your toes under. And push up into your downward dog triangle. You should feel a nice stretch through your calves. Pressing your heels down to the floor. Lovely. You're trying to squeeze the gap between your chest and your thighs. Chin's tucked under, so you're looking at your knees. And then just start to pedal your feet, pushing one heel down into the floor as you lift the opposite knee back up. Really nice. Couple more on each side. And again, here, if you want to, you can add in a bit of a hip wiggle, but you don't have to. Just do it if it feels good. Really nice, that's it. Lovely, and then a big step through with your right foot. Bring it between your hands. You can do it in 2 steps if you want to. Bring your back knee down to the floor, so you're in a kneeling, one leg kneel position. Use your hands to push yourself up on that front leg. Lovely, and then if you can, just lean forward a little bit into this front knee. Lovely. If you're leaning forward a long way, and you can see here there's a big tight gap here, just bring your foot forwards a little bit so this knee comes into more of a right angle. Good. Leaning forward, so you should feel a stretch along your left leg here at the front. Lovely. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can lift one arm up If you're balanced, lift both arms up. It's entirely up to you. Or you can hold on to something if you want to. Or leave your hands on your knees. Lovely. Just feel that stretch through that leg. Good. And then hands down onto the floor, framing your foot again. Leaving your left hand on the floor, lift your right hand up to the sky, look up towards your fingertips. Good. Just feel the stretch, looking up towards the sky. So your shoulders are twisted. Bring your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Let your knee go wide. I know it's not very easy to see. So your knees come wide and you're rolling over onto the outside edge of that front foot. So you're just letting it hang to the side. Good. So your foot's balanced on the outside edge. Lovely. And both hands are inside your leg. That's it. Perfect. Good. And then bring that foot back into a normal position again. Right hand back onto the other side. So you've got one hand either side of your feet. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, leaning back. Leave your heel on the floor. You can move your hands back a little bit if you want to. And then point your toes up towards the ceiling. So we're stretching all the way along this back leg. Good. So if you need to just come up onto your fingertips for balance, if there's too much of a stretch, if your palms are down on the floor. Good, just hold it there for a second. Lovely, and then walk your hands forward, bending that front knee, curl your back toe under, lift your leg up, and step back into your downward facing dog again, and pedal through those feet. Really nice. And then this time, big step forward with your left foot. Again, you can do it in 2 steps if you want to, or step all the way through. Your right knee comes down to the floor. Unhook your toes back. And then just use that front leg to help come up. Lovely. And then just lean forwards into your front leg if you can. Good. And again, you should feel the stretch all the way along the front of your right leg this time. Super. If you want to, if you're nice and balanced and want some extra stretch, lift one arm up, or you can lift both. It's up to you. Equally, you're more than welcome to stay resting on that knee or holding on to something for balance. Good. Bring both hands down to the floor, one hand at either side of your foot. Leaving your right hand on the floor, we're going to lift our left hand up into the air, look up towards our fingers. So a nice big twist. That's it, perfect. Well done. So just hold it here for a second or so. Good. And then bring that left hand down to the inside of your foot this time. So you've got both hands on the inside. And then just let your left knee hang wide, rolling onto the outside edge of your foot. Good. Opening up our hips. Lovely. And then roll your foot back in towards the middle. Bring the hand over the top so you've got one hand at either side of your foot. And then press back, straightening that front leg again. You can walk your hands back again if you want to. Toe up to the ceiling on your front foot. Good. And again, come up onto your fingertips if you need an extra little bit of height. Lovely. You should feel a nice stretch all the way along the back of this front leg. Really nice. And bend through your front leg, walk your hands forwards again. Big step back onto your knees. So on our hands and knees again. Super. And then into our cat-cows. One last time. Big push through. And then relax back down into that cow position. Again, you can twist and rock and roll through these if you want to. Do what feels good. Lovely. One more of each. Then bring your toes together again. Bring those knees a little bit wider, but not all the way. And sit back onto your heels. Again, you can put a cushion or a block underneath your bum and your heels if you want to. Lean forwards, forehead to floor. And then circle your arms all the way around so your hands come down by your ankles. Good. Forehead on the floor. And then just let your elbows and your shoulders flop over your knees down towards the floor. So your back's a little bit round. Super, that's it. Lovely. And just let your back round out. Feel the stretches. Feel it relax. Good. Just take a couple of big deep breaths here to finish. One more big breath. And then we are all finished. So if you want to bring yourself up, press your hands down to the floor. Press back up into a seated position, however you're comfy to do so. And we are all done. Well done, everyone.